Sorry, man, for hustling you. I never do it. I got a call. It's for the past 3 days. There's a guy who's been calling from East London, calling for me, and most of the time I'm out of the office. And then our secretary took down this number. I called him, I think twice, on this landline. He doesn't take incoming calls on the other side. And then today he called around 10, 11. Yeah? And then this is his name, and he introduces himself. And then he tells me about a story that I wrote in Camp Spain. She mentions Chrissy's name. And I asked him what's about the story. He says to me, he knows guys. He's from in East London. He knows guys in Cape Town who have been hired by Chrissy's neighbor to kill Chrissy and her family. They have been given details and everything, and he's got my story. He's even got Chrissy's number and whatever. He mentioned the name Stuart. So look, I didn't really go back to my story or whatever, so I had to deal with information. I recorded parts of the interview, which I've got, and I immediately went to Nashira and informed her about this. And then we had to call our lawyer and find out how we deal with this. And then I did ask him I probed him a bit. He said there's a police officer involved from Cape Town. He said the guy who hired these hitmen. It's okay. The hitmen were recruited by the cop. The cop who knows who I would say friendly with your neighbor, he said. And the cop is from Cape Town. He said these guys have been paid 150. So I was assuming that 150 is 150,000. And then there's a third guy who's got a pending court case in the High Court. And they can only execute what they've been assigned to do after this guy is finished with his court case.
Who's this guy?
So what I said to him...
You got this telephone call recorded?
I did. I'm not going to write a story or anything, but will you be willing to help? And then he said yes. And then he said, I said, I'll give you these kind of details to concerned people, and if you can corroborate what you're saying. This is the number.
So what's this you're looking at?
No, this is the landline. So he's definitely calling out of East London.
Even if it's just like an intimidation or whatever it is.
It is illegal. Vase.
Can you send me that picture?
Sure.
Yes, can you?
I'll send it to you.
You got my number on WhatsApp.
You can even send it to me, then I'll forward it.
Okay, have yours to me to
Okay, send it to Pilani. Okay, well we've got a face, we've got a number. Now we go to the police.
Because the first time he called the switchboard, and then
He doesn't have your direct number or your...
No, he doesn't. So I spoke to... Then I realized this is serious. I said, transfer him to my desk so I could record him. And then I repeated his name and the sequence of the conversation all over again, so that it includes all the information that he'd mentioned before I recorded it.
And you have recorded it?
Yeah.
And you got it. Can you send it to me? I don't want to hear it now.
Okay, cool.
Can you download it and send me the sound bites? Can you do that?
I can do that, but I just have to... But I'll certainly do it.
Okay.
I immediately reported the death threat to the Camps Bay police station. They did absolutely nothing. Couldn't even be bothered to return my call. They were in the process of changing captains, and Captain Chandler took over in November 2016. I then called Colonel Brooks, from the Hawks, who was interviewing me about certain parts of City of Cape Town corruption. He was amazing. I called him late at night. I was desperate. On the 9th of September 2016, a Detective Constable Makwana and Menchie's arrived at my property, and I deposed a 2-page affidavit, not just in this matter but in other matters, of people that I believed might want to harm me and my family. And then a wonderful detective, Sergeant Lombard, was assigned to my case. He got the phone SIM card, and unknown to us at the time, he'd also done phone checks on everything, and the telephone number that wasn't replying, that was a landline, was actually a prison, which is where a lot of assassinations are organised from. Stuart Bradbury's attorney had provided a false affidavit from the alleged owner of the cell phone. The ID number was one number short, the address didn't exist, the name of the person didn't exist, and this person allegedly sold the SIM card of the phone to Mr. Jay Visagi, who was an investigator that Bradbury hired. Karl Hofmeyr knowingly submitted a false affidavit to the harassment court. We were due to go into the harassment court in Magistrate Van der Spy's chambers, and Sergeant Lombard was very angry with the way that Karl Hofmeyr and his junior counsel, Lawrence, were behaving.
Sergeant, what gives them the right to go and find this guy?
It's not inappropriate. If that's the matter, then you have to report to the Law Society. That's just, you don't have to report to the Law Society. You could report it to the Bar Council.
You just finish with this issue. Now, it is up to the applicant now to come and tell the court, now that is Mr. Bradbury saying the following words. And he said those words and it was directed at me.
Noise as possible to serve my name. Yes. Yeah, let's. Fuck you. Now.
Is that segment tonight?
Well, your worship will see in our affidavit. Oh, he can't read what he says. I heard that and it sounded like my voice. But I can't say I said that. And that is why I raised the issues of the evidential burden that you need to get over. You need to prove who said what. And that's what the court cases say. We are now here doing fancy footwork and see where we can place it in. Serve the served. Who said what? Can we accept this? Can we accept that? I would say that is problematic if we start arguing. The first thing we need to do is what does the law say? The evidence relating to how you deal with a voice recording. There's certain factors that needs to be fulfilled. Who said what? Is it authentic? There we've got a problem with who said what.
If the complainant says it's him, and he says, oh, it sounds like me.
It sounds like me.
But I don't know, he's not specifically denying it.
Yeah, but he's not specifically admitting it.
He's also not denying.
Yeah, and that brings me back to my argument. Then you need to fall back on the law of evidence. Then that's where the law of evidence comes in. And that's where the law of evidence says you that wants to rely on that recording. It's on you to prove to the court who said what.
So I prepared an affidavit and went back to the magistrate to ask for it to be reheard because Bradbury had committed perjury. Sergeant Lombard then got a very, very deserved promotion. He's a fantastic detective. I have nothing but admiration for him. But this was very sad for me because I was left with the Camps Bay police station who just have absolutely no understanding about crime. I dealt with a Sergeant Brits in the fraud matters, and I dealt with Constable Timbili and Sergeant Matthews on the intimidation issues. They were either very, very stupid or very, very corrupt, but ultimately I didn't trust them anymore. I laid a formal complaint with the police ombudsman. I had a meeting there and they upheld my complaint and took everything out of the Camps Bay police station. I was given a Colonel Amanda Strumper from the Commercial Crime Unit, and she was purely dealing with the fraud issues in my matter.
That were at the cluster office have been sent back to our office for investigation.
What case has been sent back to your office?
I've got the drone, docket, and the intimidation one.
But what intimidation thing, Constable Timbili? Which case? Which one?
Okay, I've got the one with the drone.
Yeah, and what else?
And the other one with the gentleman that phoned from the prison.
Western Cape Police Ombudsman, hello?
Hi, hello, I wonder if you can help me. Can you tell me, is Mr. Bailey there, please? Edwin Bailey?
Edwin Bailey is off sick today, ma'am.
He's off sick. Is there anybody else I can speak to, please?
Regarding, you want to lodge a complaint again?
No, I've already lodged a complaint. And I lodged a complaint at Camps Bay Police Station about a Constable Timbili. I was then told that this was taken out of Camps Bay Police Station and given to the Western Province Police. Mr. Constable Timbili has just phoned me to say that the cluster office has handed back the investigation to him. I do not want him on my case. I do not want Camps Bay on my case. Since 2016, they've done nothing. I've gone to the Ombudsman and nothing has happened. I do not want him on my case. I am accusing him of corruption and being involved in trying to kill me. On the 28th of January 2020, whilst we're in a meeting with the NPA advocate Bambija, we did a simple WhatsApp call, a true caller. It still belonged to the same guy, same number, as the guy who phoned the Sunday Times in 2016.
What happened? My colleague was having an interview with the depicts office. They contacted him with a docket and they advised. Then the advice is they couldn't send a docket to the commercial crime, and the commercial crime was called the
And when did this happen?
No, he took it yesterday to the office, and they couldn't draw up the letter. Then they must give preference to the matter, and they must investigate it. The NPA requested docket, and they will go and draw up a letter to the commercial crime that they must deal with the docket.
I understand. Okay, and now I understand. Okay, so, and tell me, this is the intimidation matter you're talking about?
Yeah, all the case docket is they request all the case docket. All the case docket.
Okay, but I'm very scared, sir. I want to know where that SIM card is. The evidence. Where is the evidence? Has that gone to the NPA?
Yeah, everything went to the... That's why I'm carrying all the case docket went to the NPA's office, and they will draw up a letter to the commercial crime. They must investigate the docket.
Okay, but they took... I just need to clarify this, sir. They took the intimidation docket. Which docket are you talking about?
Ma'am, I talk about all the case docket, all the four...
Every single case?
Every single case went to the DP's office, ma'am.
And the evidence as well?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, Sergeant Matthews. I don't mean to shout at you, but I'm very frightened. Okay?
The best thing you must phone that advocate the last time you met. Just phone now when are they going to send the doctor to...
No. I've recorded this phone call, so I've got it on record. And basically, you said everything has gone to the NPA, including the evidence and including the SIM card for the phone, yeah?
That's correct, yes.
All right, my darling. Thank you, Sergeant Matthews. Thank you. Bye-bye. On the 11th of March 2020, my attorney, Barry Varkle, got an email from Advocate Christianus van Viesve, telling him that he was still in Mossel Bay. He was on circuit court and he'd be back on the 23rd of March. I cannot recall that I have seen the photos lately. I may perhaps just add that I tried my best to make contact with Colonel Amanda Strumper before I left, and although she promised to contact me so that we can arrange a meeting, she did not call me. I then again wrote to the Provincial Commissioner and appealed to her to appoint a senior person to conduct the investigation. I explained that there was a breakdown in confidence between the complainant and investigation officer. I do not know whether our office has received a reply yet, but as soon as I get any reply in this regard, I will inform you. I then WhatsApped Colonel Amanda Strumper and I sent her a copy of Christian van der Wege's email to my attorney Barry Barkle. I said, "Hi Colonel, the NPA advocate sent this email to my attorney today with regards to the intimidation matter. Please don't tell the advocate I sent this to you." I called the Camps Bay SAPS and recorded the phone call. He said, "All my files have gone to the Commercial Crime Unit, but that was 3 weeks ago. Is it possible we could just meet to touch base and catch up? Thank you, Chrissy." Colonel Strumper denied ever receiving any phone call from Advocate Van Wege.
Hi, Christina. How are you doing?
Fine, yourself?
All right, thank you. Are you able to talk?
Yes.
Okay. I sent you an email now. A letter came in from your colleague. I just don't understand. I thought you were handling this file. Where did this person come in now all of a sudden?
No, well, I also don't know. So they must have replied, and then the docket probably went to someone else. I will find out tomorrow.
No one's
I'm
interviewed
at the
me.
office tomorrow as to who it was allocated to. It's a complete surprise to me now.
Yeah, because this just came out of nowhere.
I've got no idea. I'm actually surprised that they didn't leave it for me, you know. I mean,
Surely if it's your file, then, that stays in your office,
Yeah. No, I'm very sorry about that. I didn't know about this. I mean, really. You remember I said to you, when I get back to the office, I will see whether the
Exactly.
commissioner has bothered to reply to our letter.
It's almost like they took the file from you and just,
What happened is that they must have replied, and when the letter came, they drew the file, and then they allocated it to someone else.
Good day, Kansai Police Station, Progress 15. How can I help you?
Is Constable Tembele there, please?
Okay, Tembele.
Yeah,
Okay, can you hang on?
thank you.
Kimberly, good morning.
Constable Tembele, it's Chrissy Phillips here from Backoven.
Morning.
Good morning. I just got an SMS from you saying that my matter was in court yesterday. Why was I not informed?
The reason why you were not informed is because nobody was charged, nobody was appearing. The docket was sent to the SPP, Senior Prosecutor, for discussion.
No, I had a letter from the NPP a long time ago, okay, telling me that it had been thrown out, okay? So something has gone very wrong here, okay? That's number one. Number two, you never interviewed me about the building inspector, Stephen Wilkinson. You never interviewed me once on the intimidation matter of the other docket. Not once, sir, did you interview me. That's number two. Number three, I had a 3.5-hour meeting this week with where we went through these matters. And I've given them to him. He also took photographs of all the letters and all the information. Okay? Now, you were asked to go to and you never went. The affidavit we had, and it was one number short on the ID and the address was wrong.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Okay, well, you should have known because you were in the meeting with the with the advocate. My life is in danger, sir. I'm very upset.
Sorry, ma'am, I have to dash.
No, you always have to dash. But I voice recorded this meeting, okay? And now I'm sending it because I'm frightened of you, sir. I'm frightened of you. I'm frightened of Sergeant Matthews. I'm frightened of the Camps Bay Police Station. My life is in danger, okay? And I liked you, Constable Tembele, a lot. I trusted you.
Ma'am, sorry, I have to go now.
It's not good enough, sir.
I have to go, unfortunately.
Okay, goodbye. On the 27th of May, I WhatsApped CCU Colonel. I was concerned that we'd just served the summons, the damages summons, and that they would now try and hurt me. So he then replied, if they try, phone me immediately, please. I WhatsApped Colonel. I said, hi, Colonel, the intimidation has started. See the film that is the gardener, standing on an area with no living plants, and the area he's standing on is unlawful to walk on. This is exactly how it started the last time. This is the man in the video I sent you the last time. I cannot report to Camps Bay or city law enforcement for obvious reasons. Thank you.
What don't they want you for? They probably don't. Because Captain Phillips here doesn't want you there. Nor does the fucking High Court. Stay inside your house, man. Come inside.
The abuse of me by Bradbury's contractors carried on. Standing on unlawful structures, all my complaints ignored. There's nowhere to go. Once the cops side with someone who's intimidating you or threatening your life, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. They don't even enforce the law when these guys are standing over 6 meters without any fall protection. This guy is standing on a non-trafficable rim flow. He shouldn't be there filming me. You know, he just shouldn't be there. I'm not the one in the wrong. He is. You're standing on a rim flow, sir.
What has the neighbor's house got to do with you? Standing on the rim flow. Man.
You think it's right that you can look into...
Take a nap.
Do you...
Your GT work off.
Do you think it's right that you can look right into my garden like this? Do you think that's right? What about my privacy?
Sleep off. Go take a nap.
Hello?
Hi, is that Johan Versaki? Speaking. Hi, Johan. My name's Barry Varkel. You were involved in a case where you did some work for an attorney called Karl Hofmeyer. I don't know if you remember. Yeah. So you made a certain statement in a case, and if I can just speak to you about that. You spoke to Sergeant Lombard in February 2017. Do you remember that?
That was... Hang on now. Is that in connection...
This was a case that you were involved with in assistance to an attorney, Karl Hofmeyer, and his client, Bradbury. I don't know if you remember the case.
All right. That's from Buckwoven.
Yeah. So you eventually, you needed to find the owner of the cell phone number. You remember that?
That's right.
Yeah.
The Transkei. Well, Eastern Cape.
Okay. So then I think you said in your affidavit that the number first rang and no one answered, but then eventually a guy did answer, but he couldn't speak much English, and you found out that he lived in East London.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Do you know his exact address in East London?
Look, I'll have to see. Look, are you talking now about the witness who assisted me here?